Hi there, this is Vicki Ronchette with Show Dog Prep School. Today I'm going to talk about a technique I use a lot when I am helping people get their fearful, shy, insecure, worried, concerned dogs um, feeling better about conformation. So frequently people um, want to go to a conformation class and we don't always recommend it because if what the dog is really afraid of is the person touching them, then they're not ready to go to a class where someone is going to touch them. They're not to that space. I'm actually working with my own dog, Brooke, right now, and he's that way. He's not ready to be examined by a stranger. But with fearful dogs, a lot of the time we need to get them comfortable just being in an environment where there are other people and other dogs, but nobody else is interacting with them. So that means a lot of the time I'll have them find a conformation class where the instructor is supportive of our method. So we don't want to go into a class where the instructor is not okay with this or doesn't believe in what we're doing. We really need someone who's going to be open to the owner of the dog having a real input in the training plan and what we're doing. Because you can end up in a class where they say, nope, you just got to make him do it. We're just going to make him do it until he knocks it off. And some dogs do knock it off, but very few of them actually learn to love it if they're just forced to do it over and over and over again. And I want dogs to actually be okay with this. So I want to take them to conformation classes where there is an understanding, at the very least understanding. If they're skilled in working with fearful dogs and they have that background and expertise, that's great. But if it's not like that, if it's just run by somebody who shows dogs or has done that for a long time and not a professional trainer, that's okay as long as they're open to your methods. So you want to go to the classes and literally just work the dog in the environment, but skip the exam. So sometimes the dog is ready to learn to be working in the environment with other dogs, to work on stacking and gating and just being able to disengage and not be concerned about the environment and work with you and focus on you, but they might not be ready yet for the exam piece. Sometimes we have a couple, I have a local class that I can go to, a couple actually, where the trainers are, people I know, and they're very dog savvy and they have an understanding of what I'm doing and how to do this. But to go to the class and say, well, I'd like to put my dog on the table, but we're going to skip the exam. So if the dog is ready for that, you can do that, where you actually do go up like the dog's going to be examined, go on the table, go on the ramp, just go up to the spot and be stacked with the person standing there. And then you just skip the exam part, because there's really no benefit to forcing them before they're ready. That's not going to make them enjoy being in the show ring or feeling more comfortable with it. We want to actually teach them how to function, how to learn, how to perform, how to work, how to cope in an environment where there's other dogs and other people without being worried that something's going to happen to them. Now, if we could do dog shows where I could have people just go to the dog show but be able to skip the exam, because a lot of dogs don't mind the movement part. They don't even mind the other dogs around them part or the hand stacking part. They just don't want to be examined by a stranger. So if they're not ready for the exam, we don't want to put them in that position. We want to get them comfortable so that we can systematically build up their confidence to where they go from, I don't want to do any of this, to, okay, I can do this part. I can do the movement part. I can do the being around people part. I can do the dogs part. We're just building all of this confidence, all of this security and predictability about what this looks like, right? Now, if you are worried about the exam, you can have the dog be examined by people that he's comfortable with, he knows, your spouse. And sometimes people will say, well, he's not worried if my husband goes over him because he knows him. He's still learning the process. He's still going through the process. He's still learning what this all looks like. He's still getting the muscle memory of this whole, exam situation and what that's going to be like, because one day that's going to be a part of it. So it's okay to have him be examined by people that he's really comfortable with. And again, with my puppy Rook, that's what I'll do sometimes. I have another friend who teaches a class who he actually knows really well. When I go to her class, I do have her examine him because he's comfortable with that. But if I go to a class with its an instructor that he doesn't know, then I might not have them go over him, or they might just come up and talk to me and kind of ignore him while we're building up that comfort level. So if you have access to a conformation class with an instructor who is very, very skilled in dealing with these types of dogs, or will just kind of let you do your own thing, then it's okay to go and just say, we're just going to skip the exam part. You have to be ready and able to advocate for your dog, right? So you have to be able to say, no, we're not going to do that piece. Or I really don't want to have him examined right now. Because some instructors will say, nope, well, I just want to at least touch her. Well, that's not, sneaking in and getting a quick touch is not build confidence for the dog, right? So we want them to actually feel comfortable and relaxed, and we don't want them to feel tricked or that somebody snuck up on them and did something shady. We want them to be like, oh, this was okay. I was really safe. I was really okay here. And then as we build that up, maybe they can start developing some relationships with other people there, and then we can have people start to go over them and add that next piece in. So if you have access to a conformation class like that. Now, I've also, with my puppy, just gone to other classes that I could find that I knew were positive reinforcement classes, and there would be no pressure on him, is a huge thing. Just for us to take this class about, going out on walks and feeling comfortable with that, strategies for that was a class I took him to. It was an hour and a half sort of workshop type class. But I contacted them first and said, he's reactive. Yes, I think I can manage the reactivity. I don't think he's going to be disruptive, but I need for him not to be approached or touched. Absolutely. And it was a wonderful experience for him because he started off like, what are those people doing? What's going to happen over there? Nothing happened because no one messed with him. So he actually had this wonderful experience of going to a place, being with me, being completely safe, and learning to be completely safe and relaxed because no one was messing with him. And then he actually started showing a lot of curiosity for the people. He's like, what is she doing over there? And I'm going to walk over there and look, and so I want that. And I'm going to reinforce that and build on that. And he's allowed to ask to go say hi to someone if he starts to feel comfortable. But what we don't want is for them to be forced to be touched before they're ready. And, I do conformation. I know that dog shows end with, for the dog, a human touching them, right? That's going to happen at a dog show. But that doesn't mean that that's where your dog or my dog at this time is in their behavior modification plan. If the dog is not ready to be touched, if someone approaches them and they're already backing up and climbing up the front of you or leaning away or stiffening up, they're not ready for that. You need more work around people, building up to less distance, being closer, a person approaching, and then a person putting a hand out, and then a person touching them. This is for long-term results, right? So I'm not interested in just getting the dog in there and we just make him do it and that's going to be fine. I'm interested in actually teaching the dog how to be comfortable in those environments, how to cope in life when he's not comfortable with something. I want my dogs to know that, if they're not comfortable, I'm going to hear that and respond to that appropriately, not just say, you'll be fine, you're going to do it. That's not being a supportive teammate or partner or anything. And that's not what I want for the dogs. I want them to really learn to feel comfortable with it. So if you can find classes, and by the way, conformation is great, but it could also be an agility class or a nose work class or something else where the dog just starts learning. And sometimes if there's a really sour taste in the dog's mouth about conformation, I might actually want to start out not in a conformation class. Maybe I want to build some confidence in nose work or a conditioning class or barn hunt or agility or something else where it doesn't require another person putting their hands all over the dog. Because a lot of the times that's what's happening. And I'm never just going to put the dogs away and go, oh, this is just a fear period. He'll be over it. People like to say that, but there's no evidence that that's what's happening. It really could be that, this is the dog, It could also be that it is hormonal or there are things going on developmentally that are creating some changes in the dog. but I'm still going to work on it, and I'm still going to support the dog, and I'm still going to work the dog as if there's an issue and we have to work more on it. So give that a shot. See if you can find a class in your area just to help the dog feel more comfortable and relaxed working with you around people and other dogs. Again, if it's conformation, it's great, but it could be something else. You just want to start building that relationship and that comfort level in the dog for working around other people, working around other dogs, and learning that it doesn't always mean something scary is going to happen to them. And if you need any help, check us out, www.showdogprepschool. We have online courses, webinars, private sessions, whatever you need to work with your show dog. Thank you so much for watching.